Good morning and welcome out here. We're out here working on the homestead this morning and hoping you're having a wonderful, blessed day. Kind of chilly start out here on this Saturday morning, but I had some little projects I need to do, and I thought I'd start in here in the shop working. And I've got a lot of electric fence, not a whole lot, but I've got 3 chargers that are solar powered. And I thought I'd show a little video here. I've been using fence chargers for quite a few years. Not saying I'm any kind of an expert, but I have learned some good things and some bad things. And this is or what to do and what not to do, I guess you could say. And here's this little charger. It's got a switch here, and where you turn it on, and a little meter. And I love these with this meter. They're a little bit more money than some of the others, but for this to really work well, it's over here in the red right now because it's off. It needs to go all the way on this green. Now, it may take it a few times when you first turn it on. The needle will fluctuate over. Then it will go all the way over. This is a Solar Pack 6, it's called, but it'll go clear to this green. Now, I've had this about 4 years, and it's getting to where the battery isn't holding up. And so it only goes up about halfway if you have it hooked up to ground. And I have a little tester too that you can plug into the ground and hook up here to the red and find out. But this thing just isn't working quite like it should. So I have bought a new battery for it, and I'm going to try that. I just like the charger so well, and these batteries are about $20, where this charger, when I bought it, seems like was $180, $200. So I figure trying a battery just to see if that will do it or not is not too bad out of the question. So we're going to find out here. But they've got a little protector thing on the battery for it. They've got it on the negative terminal. I'm pulling that off there. But anyway, going to try a new battery, see if it will. We got a new bull out in the pasture, and I get to use some of my neighbor's land for free, but I felt like I shouldn't go and invest a bunch of money in barbed wire fencing since I don't own it. I have gone on the back side of it. Last year I had the entire 50-some acres fenced in with electric fencing. Well, in the summertime, deer and wild hogs and stuff come through, and they will tear up your fence. And sometimes something shorts it out, the cows just walk through where it's not shocking them, or if it's just shocking them a little bit, they tear it up. And it's up on some rough terrain, and we have rattlesnakes. And I hate going up there in the winter for rattlesnakes. So a big part of that land I've put barbed wire around. But I've still got some area that's easy to get to that this year is electric fence. But I hate to fence the entire thing, spend a fortune in 1 year for something that I don't know if I'm going to get to use from year to year. So I'm trying to be practical with it. I already had the electric fence chargers, and I have some our land, we have it divided off in what some people call paddocks, but we rotationally graze the cattle. So this spring, right now, the grass is starting to get green, and I rotationally graze them. I'll move them like 1 week in one patch, the next week in another, and I've got about 7 patches, so they won't touch another one for about a month, and that gives it all time to grow and do well. So some of it I've had to section off with electric fence. So that's what I use these for, and so I already had some. I'm slowly dividing it off with permanent barbed wire fencing. If you put up fencing, you know it costs a lot of money to build a good fence. Now I use steel corner post, and I use steel T-post and real good barbed wire. I like the Red brand barbed wire, but I want 4 points. Some will settle for the 2 points. It's a little bit cheaper. Go ahead and get the 4 points, and if you're going to build a barbed wire fence to keep cattle in, do it right. I used to raise goats, and I used electric fencers on goats also. So anyway, I'm going to try to tear into this thing, and it's going to bring the camera up here just a little closer. Maybe you could see what I'm getting into here, and we'll take a look-see at this charger here. Alright, so we have to take the top off of this thing, and we have to take the top off. You can take a screwdriver, pry up under here. I've already done it. Got the top loose. And your battery sets down here. They have paper, cardboard stuck down in this thing to help protect it and keep it from bouncing around, because you don't want, if it's being shipped, this battery sliding down the other way, I suppose, and is why they've got it fixed like they do. I've never had this open prior to today, so I have another one just like it, and I've done this same thing to it. But anyway, here's your battery, and it's got two. A black goes on the negative and red on the positive, just like you would on a car or tractor battery, anything like that. And there's your old battery. Here's the new battery. It's got two little terminals, negative and positives, marked pretty good. You want to make sure you get them right. On any type of battery, you want to make sure you get the proper terminals. So we'll go black to the negative, red to our positive terminal. There's a possibility that something else could be going on with my charger, but I'm going to check something before I put this back in here. My little terminal deals here have gotten loose on me, and when I was taking it apart, I noticed that, and I thought that could be a problem too. So while I've got it here in the shop working on it, it's a lot easier to fix stuff up while you're in the shop than it is out working in the field. Yeah, that tightened that up good. So that should work a little better. These are also have some corrosion on this positive terminal there, and I'm going to take it, scratch it up with a battery terminal cleaner, and clean this up a little bit, and maybe it'll get a little better connection, I hope, here. Put that on there, and alrighty, so now the terminal's ready to go, and I'm going to hook the battery back up. I had unhooked it while I was down in there. I thought I'd hate for this thing to shock me. It wouldn't kill me, but if you've ever been shocked by electric fence, why, I'll tell you, it's not fun. And when I was a boy, I got shocked several times. We used to have electric fence different places. My friends primarily had electric fences at their places, like around their hog pens. We always had a good hog pen, but we didn't need electric fence. But what I mean by good, one that was made out of field fencing, hog wire. We always call field fencing around here hog wire, because people generally had that to keep the hogs in. I'm sure there is a technical difference between the two, but that's what we call it around here. Anyway, I'm putting that cardboard back in this thing, and I'm going to put the solar part on, and I thought I'd wipe this off just a little bit. Probably wouldn't hurt none. It's out in the weather. Get some of the dust off of it, and get this put back together, if it will. This can's got little prongs on it, and get that on there without smashing your fingers, getting them caught in there is a little bit of a trick. So I'm going to take my trusty little hammer here. You want to not be too rough with it, but dropped one of my prongs from my pegboard here, and put my hammer back up. I like to keep my tools up on pegboard and keep things looking good if I can, but I got a son. Sometimes he wants to get in things, and anyway, I've got this on here. I'm going to put it out in the sun, let it start collecting some rays, let it charge up, and hopefully it'll work. This says 25-mile range. They push their limits to the max. If you've got perfect No weeds, great sun, everything brand new out of the box. This thing probably does 25 miles, but I would say about a quarter to a half mile is about all I would trust them as, and that's what I try to use. If you go too far, the further you go, it seems like it doesn't do as well, and if there's anything, even a grass blade lays across that, it will slow it down out there. And I'm sure they have laboratory check it. Mine's out here in the real world, but I love this fence charger. I'm not getting paid to advertise for them, have no connection with this company here, but you'll find these in your farm magazines. They sell them around here at the different farm stores that we have. And I've got a black one that's a different brand. I like it too, except it doesn't have a gauge. And I like these two that I own that are like this, both have a gauge, and it'll be over here in red, yellow, and so when it's working right, if this is all the way up, I know that I've got some grass or something touching my fence. I'll go around and look, and sure enough I will. But this, I noticed